If you're a parent of a kid with ADHD, you know the feeling, right? That little knot in your stomach when the alarm goes off and you're just bracing for the daily battle of getting ready for school. It can be so frustrating, just total chaos. But what if there was a way to completely change that dynamic, using a tool you probably have right in your pocket? Okay, let's get into it.
It sounds so simple, doesn't it? 4 little words. But for so many of us, that phrase isn't a helpful reminder. Nope, it's the starting pistol for a daily fight. It's the beginning of the nagging, the frustration, and, let's be honest, sometimes a full-blown meltdown for everyone.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why is this so hard? Because the answer is not what most of us think. It's not about defiance, it's not laziness, and it's not a kid who just refuses to listen. The reason it all falls apart comes down to how different brains process the exact same information.
To really get this, we have to look at the morning from 2 completely different points of view. There's the parent's reality, and then there's the child's reality. And trust me, they are worlds apart.
Okay, so look at this because this is where it all goes wrong. As a parent, you say, get ready for school, and you see one single task. But to a nonlinear ADHD brain, that one command is a giant, overwhelming cloud of unspoken steps. It's a monolith. Get dressed, but wait, find socks first, eat breakfast, brush teeth, find shoes, where's the backpack? It isn't one thing, it's like 15 things all jumbled together with no clear place to start.
And this leads to a very real thing called executive function paralysis. This is not a choice, it's like a neurological glitch. The brain literally freezes up because it can't figure out the step-by-step path from A to Z. So when you see your kid just standing there, maybe staring into space, they're not ignoring you. Their internal GPS is overloaded and it just crashed.
And this is it. This is the big mind shift. We have to reframe what we're seeing. What looks like a battle of wills is actually a case of cognitive overload. Just recognizing that, well, that's the first step to changing your entire morning.
Because when we misinterpret that overload as defiance, we get stuck. We get trapped in this painful, predictable, and totally unproductive cycle.
We have all been here. Our frustration just builds and builds because, from our point of view, the request is so simple. So we escalate. Our voice gets a little louder, our tone gets sharper, and you can just feel the tension in the room go through the roof.
And you know exactly how this destructive pattern plays out. First, we repeat the command, but with more force. Then, the child, who is already overwhelmed, now feels attacked and totally misunderstood. And that just leads to a complete shutdown. Either a huge emotional meltdown, or they just withdraw completely. Nobody wins. It's awful.
It is an exhausting role to play, isn't it? The morning enforcer, the bad guy, the person who brings all the stress into the house. So the question has to be, how do we break this cycle? How do we step out of that role for good?
Well, the answer is actually surprisingly simple. And like I said, it's probably already in your pocket. We're going to use technology, not as a distraction, but as this amazing tool for communication and for clarity.
So here's the strategy. We're going to use a simple AI, think ChatGPT or Gemini, to act as a neutral buffer between you and your child. It's also a translator. It takes your one big, overwhelming command and translates it into a clear, linear map that your child's brain can actually process and follow.
So let's get practical. How does this actually work? I promise, this is so incredibly easy to do, you could start tomorrow morning.
This is it. This is basically your magic wand. You just open up your favorite AI tool and you type in a simple prompt like this. You're not ordering your child around anymore. You're just asking a neutral assistant to help you create a plan. And notice how you're giving it context. My 10-year-old has ADHD, so it knows exactly how to tailor the response.
And look what you get back. This is brilliant. It's not a lecture, it's a game. That giant monolith is suddenly broken down into these tiny, achievable missions. Using emojis makes it visual and fun. Each step is super clear, it's one thing at a time, and it's not up for debate. All of a sudden, there's a clear path forward.
Now, this isn't just some clever little tech hack. The reason this works goes so much deeper. It fundamentally changes the psychology and the power dynamic of the entire morning.
This right here is the most powerful shift of all. You are no longer the one barking the orders. The checklist on the screen, that's the authority now. And you and your child, you're on the same team, working together to complete the missions. You get to stop being the frustrated manager and start being the helpful coach.
So let's just sum up this transformation. The AI is totally neutral.
It doesn't have an angry tone, no emotional baggage, no frustration. It just provides that missing linear structure that the child's brain desperately needs to get started. And by doing that, it turns a daily power struggle into a collaborative, maybe even kind of fun project.
And what you're really doing here is so much bigger than just getting out the door on time. You are giving your child a secret decoder ring for their own brain. You're showing them how to build these linear bridges they need to navigate a world that really wasn't designed for their way of thinking. You are empowering them for life.
And it really leaves you with this final thought. You know, in a world that's so worried about AI, maybe its most profound and humane use isn't about replacing us, but about helping us connect with each other. What if it can be a bridge, just translating our different realities so we can finally meet in the middle, with a little more patience and a whole lot more understanding?